Are you Catgender, Peter?
I'm not sure.
You don't identify as Catgender?
Keep talking. No. It hadn't occurred to me, no.
By the end of this segment, maybe. So, well, we'll start this off before we get to the Catgender stuff with a story which is more your wheelhouse, working for Lord Pearson. So this is a story out of the House of Lords. So if we get this link up, this is House of Lords is latest to say no to Stonewall after mother of all rows. Wonderful headline. The House of Lords has abandoned a workplace inclusivity program run by Stonewall following a row about the use of gender-neutral language in legislation. A spokesman for the Lords said the decision followed an assessment of the, quote, costs and benefits of the program. That's a lie. It's got bugger all to do with how much it costs. You'll pay anything, but you know what the benefits are, which is there's none. And it's full of crap. It has previously told organizations to replace the word mother with parent who has given birth. Used to have a word for them.
Yes.
Don't remember what it was. The government had wanted to refer to pregnant people rather than mothers in its new maternity legislation, which was fast-tracked through Parliament to enable Sulla Braverman, the Attorney General who is experiencing her second child, to take time off after birth without having to step down as minister.
So she is a mother.
She is a parent. No. She's a birthing person?
She's a birthing person?
Birthing vehicle? She is a... Oh, no, I'm not going to say that. That's I just said something in my mind that's too far. We're not even going to go there. So the wording was changed after it was rejected by the Lords. So Chad Lords, all the greybeards, just being like, what is this 20-year-old Zoomer trying to tell me? Get out of here. So it was rejected by the Lords, with the government conceding that mother was acceptable. This is the level of political discourse.
They've conceded.
The government have conceded that the word mother is a perfectly useful word. We don't need birthing hole instead to replace that. It's just horrible. So, but some peers raised concerns that it shouldn't have been a row all along. Conservative peer Baroness Noakes said the phrasing contributed to, quote, the erasure of women in society. Bang on the money.
Hear, hear.
What else do you call it? If we replace mother with birthing hole, I feel like we are getting rid of women. You're probably right. However, Transactual UK, a transgender group, wrote on Twitter, quote, despite the claims of women being erased when talking about pregnancy, it is once again trans men and non-binary people that are being erased.
I'm still quite confused. Sorry.
Look, can you give birth? If yes, mother. It's a simple system. It's worked for, what, about 100,000 years? Something like that, however long humans have been around?
Well, it's how life sustained itself, but I guess trans men are pumping the kids out.
Look, they may have vaginas, but those are manly vaginas. You know, like feminine penises. It's a manly vulva. Anyway, quote, and when not erased, misgendered by people that cannot bear to acknowledge that we know our own sex gender better than they do. You don't. No, anyone looking at you and talking about the fact of whether or not you're a mother, if you can give birth, you're a mother. I think the person who has that opinion probably knows more about the sex that you are than you do, because you clearly have gone mad. You don't even think the word mother is acceptable. You're an insane person. Shut up. I'm not even going to engage with this person at any level. I think that is the correct response. And the Lord's doing that is very good. Just saying, get lost. Not paying this crap. And this moves us on to, in case you disagree and think, oh, no, whoa. Maybe they got a point. Maybe we should be more respectful about these sorts of people. Okay, you've accepted that. You've accepted that birthing hole is a replacement for mother. Let's move to cat sexual. Let's go to the next link. Bristol University pronoun guide for staff includes cat genders. This is why I asked if you identified as cat gender, Peter.
No.
No. But maybe you will have to accept that some people do. The institution says it is, quote, using pronouns at work, document, that staff should declare their own pronouns when meeting students and new people for the first time, encouraging staff to put their own preferred pronouns in their email signatures to support trans and non-binary students and to normalize the practice for all. I'm sure plenty of people have had that in their workplaces. Occasionally I get an email or a business card from someone that has pronouns on, and it goes in the bin, and you never do business with them again.
It's weird because in Parliament you always get that on the bottom. So many of them have their pronouns. I mean, it should just
like
say
a small print.
Yeah,
yes.
but it should have does this include a space to say other? And you're right in your other one.
Well, that's the point. It's your preferred pronouns.
Oh, so you can do anything.
Right-wingers have mocked this endlessly over the last 20 years.
Any normal person should mock it.
We could write cat And left wingers have been like, oh, they've only got one joke. I identify as an attack helicopter. I identify as a cat. That's never going to happen.
Cat.
Its guidance also links to a webpage that says that some people may identify as felines, and others could use emoji self-pronouns, which some people ridiculed online. Yeah, no S. People ridiculed that. We go to the next link. We can see the website they link to. And give it a scroll, John. Give us a good old scroll about how long this piece of crap is. Look at that.
When we had Harry Miller on, he talked about this, and he said he talked about something like 600 different. I think this website is 280 or something, but I don't think the cat's on it. Or is the cat a new one?
I believe it's been added.
Has it? Oh, I hope so.
Remember, pronouns are easy to learn. Just learn my pronouns, Bigger. It's so easy. Look, it's so easy. I've written a Wikipedia document that is God knows how many words long to just express to you that I'm insane. Easy to learn. If we go back to the article, we can see the emoji self part, because you may be wondering what the hell that means.
I'm wondering that with the zoom of the footballer, whenever he kicked the cat, I'm just thinking, did he gender the cat properly? That's the bigger issue.
I think if he thinks he's cat gender, then therefore he's not kicking a cat as an abuse. He's instead having a cat fight.
Oh,
and therefore... Just some advice, Mr. Zuma, if you want some other bullshit.
Genius. You should give him legal representation.
Yeah, they say in here, so in the list of examples is emoji self-pronouns, which is described to the staff as a subcategory of noun self-pronouns. I'm not saying that, no, that's how it's written. Which are pronouns that, instead of using letters, utilize emojis.
So an emoji is your gender.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is a university.
You've got the lump of poo. That's that could be your gender.
That could be your gender. Nothing's stopping you. That is what the University of Bristol wants you to do. Anyone who's sent their kids there or is there right now, I'm sorry. Quote, these pronouns are not intended to be pronounced out loud. As if you could. What the fuck does that even mean?
Okay,
can you pronounce flags? No. Can you pronounce girl dancing? Like... Maybe you just say the words. And are only intended for online communication, the webpage says. Quote, in spoken conversation, one may or may not use pronouns that are based in emoji. So you could try and pronounce, presumably to then get fired for mispronouncing it and therefore misgendering the person.
Well, it's true if you mispronounce this. Yeah. You're trying to do your best by understanding the madness in the person's head.
They end this off with someone who is catgender may use na, nyan pronouns, meaning meow in Japanese. Remember, what is it, Nyan cat?
A Japanese cat?
You don't remember Nyan cat, the meme?
No.
It was a cat that looked like what are they, Pop-Tart?
Yeah.
With rainbows coming out its ass, flying in space. That's a gender, bro. You don't remember that?
A flying cat with rainbow coming out of his ass. I missed that.
No, you don't remember Nyan cat?
No.
Internet sensation.
No.
Now a gender. Quote, cat gender is described on the webpage as, quote, feeling an extremely strong connection to cats or other felines, either strongly identifying with them or simply wanting to incorporate them into their gender to better understand their identity.
What?
So,
there's
a Nyan cat. You don't remember Nyan cat? Do you identify as Nyan cat?
Was number 5 in the most viewed in 2011? No way.
That is also something, if you are sexually identified at the University of Bristol, has to be respected by the staff. If you're a professor, you're going to have to have some 18-year-old kid tell you who identifies as Nyan cat, and you're going to have to be like, Nyan, Nyan, are you doing okay today? Nyan went to the toilet. Nyan, sit over there.
Well, I see it going to the toilet. It's pooing rainbow.
We'll get to the litter trays in a minute. It's just, I also love, like, cat gender is someone who wants to be like a cat. It's like, we used to call that women who thought a marker pen was a Halloween costume, but okay.
You used to go on to see someone professionally and talk about these issues that you had.
You used to get sectioned.
Yeah. Take these drugs, you'll be okay.
I'm a cat. I want to pee in the litter tray. Yes, the nice men with coats are coming. Now, this is general, unironic advice from the University of Bristol about how to treat your students. Bristol University Guide encourages staff to not get defensive if they make a mistake when referring to someone. They may say, what the hell are you saying? Instead of, Nyan, nice to meet you. Don't do that. No, accept that they identify as Nyan. And provides an example of how to correctly oneself by apologizing and then using the correct pronoun and carrying on without making it a, quote, big deal that the person identifies as a bloody cat.
It's amazing when reality just disappears and now whatever... I mean, it's just like a child coming up with a make-believe story, and you say, don't worry, you'll forget about it. But now actually you accept the adults.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm reading the Babylon Bee, a fake news outlet.
Oh, yes, it's fake.
I mean, this is, as I said, it is a joke right-wingers have made for years. I sexually identify as an attack helicopter, and therefore you must use my correct pronouns as an Apache. But no, now it is actually real.
I'm going to say Lord Pearson needs to be a cat in the House of Lords.
Putting little cat ears. Get a little marker drawn.
This is it. He had radically changed.
I rise to speak of oppression of my people.
Meow.
Mr. Zuma. Mr. Zuma committed a hate crime against a brother of mine.
No, but also because in Parliament they had a value in everyone, which was a diversity training that they all had to go to. And Lord Pearson went to it, as did other peers.
We could do with a laugh.
We discussed it in the office, and I wanted to go along to online because you had to be online because it was dangerous being in Parliament in person. So he went on with a number of there were 10 other peers on that.
So meow, 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 meow.
Well, that didn't come up, but I think I need to contact the House of Lords department and suggest they need to include this because Lord Pearson does now identify as a cat with a rainbow coming
out of his arse.
I'm glad you set it up, mate. But
Pearson, if you're watching, I love you, man.
He's very sorry. But they had to go through this training, and it was if they didn't do it, they would get removed from the chamber, and they would not be allowed to sit. And I mean, Betty Boothroyd, she was having open heart surgery, and she was told that she couldn't go to the chamber because she hadn't been to it. And she said, "Well, I was having open heart surgery." But they had this, and they had some 22-year-old telling these ex-titans of industry what they can and cannot say and what they have to do. And they've managed to get to their 80s and managed to be CEOs of companies to run whatever. And now they need to sit in this classroom and be told by this kid just out of uni about whether they identify as a cat or not. And that's compulsory.
Could you imagine being 60 and having gone through everything in life and, been such a high achiever, you end up in the Lords and someone's telling you need to respect catgender?
Well, there is a cat quota, so yeah.
But anyway, I mean, we could use it as a weapon as well. I mean, if Pearson is going to go in tomorrow and be like, well, I identify as rainbows coming out my backside, and anyone who disagrees needs to be removed from the Lords, we could start picking off some of the cuck lords. Absolutely.
I'm going to have a difficult conversation with him trying to explain this process because he's not going to get it. You know that.
Well, I'll make a video for him. I don't know what to say. They have this off with it also urges staff to be proactive by, quote, introducing pronoun introductions to regular conversations and meetings to avoid misgendering people because we don't want the cats pissing on the curtains, presumably, in the lecture halls. I don't know what else. But someone else also sent in, and thank you to whoever sent this in, leaked from the University of Sheffield. Let's go to the next link here, which is something that also went down, which I thought was funny, and I thought we'd add it. We can give a click on that. You load up. So this is some yoga class that's taking place. Who's the yoga class open to? This workshop is open to self-defining women of color. So if you self-identify as a black woman, gender non-conforming, non-binary, and yoni-owning people of color only. Right, so we've got black women, non-binary black people, and white people, I presume, yoni-owning people of color. You know what yoni-owning means?
Nope.
Apparently it means you got a vagina.
Oh.
So it's vagina owners are also allowed to come. Again, very human.
The birthing people.
Couldn't say mother again.
But this is yoga, the headline, Yoga in Nature with Peaks of Color and Glow Moon Temple.
Yeah.
What?
I just know straight white men. Could have just wrote it easier. Let's go to the next one because, of course, I mentioned about the catgender stuff, and there was a story. There was a fake news. This is completely fake news. There was a rumor, of course, that some American university had also brought into this and had put litter trays down for students who identify as cats, as you can see there.
The color of it would be Lucky Charms.
Yeah. The only reason I say it's fake news is because we only have a statement from the principal who denies the rumor. Nothing else. Yeah, he hasn't released any evidence. He's just said it's totally not true, I swear. I didn't institute litter trays for the cat-gendered kids. In which case I have one question. Why not? Come on, why not? What if a student does identify as a cat? Then what?
Do they need a separate toilet?
Well,
They have to build toilets for the cats?
Cats don't use the toilet.
No.
You ever seen a cat use a toilet?
No.
No, it uses a litter tray. So we've got to get litter trays in for the kids. I can't believe that's a real story. Let's go to the last thing, because I mentioned also...
and they actually had to send a letter to students. So
Yes.
they wrote a letter to parents discussing...
Please trust us, we don't have litter trays in the bathroom.
No shit.
If we go to the last thing here, because I mentioned there's the cat stuff from a very prestigious institution, University of Bristol, and here's the dog stuff from another used to be prestigious institution, the British Constabulary. As you can see here, we have Fair Cop having another argument with the police, as he does.
Good.
Because he's a good guy. As you can see, he's we mentioned before, these people who engage in what is called puppy play. They dress up as dogs and want to be treated as dogs. They can't do it in private because that would be sensible in regards to kinks. No, they have to do it in public, in front of everyone. And as you can see here, in front of the police, and the police are posing with pictures with them. Yep. When the police have apparently abandoned their core functions and act as a PR firm for people who just like to pretend to be dogs. Indeed, Harry. Indeed, that is what they're doing here.
Thank you, Harry, for bringing the truth to us.
Let's go to the next one. So I know there was a divide within the audience last time we spoke about this. Some people saying that no, just even in their own bedrooms, no. And I was on the side of at least just keep it in your bedroom. At least the police couldn't have photos with them. I remember they were photobombing with people who were in leather fetishist outfits as well. Last time we covered it. But that's the British police for you.
If you dress up like that at an anti-lockdown rally, does that mean the police don't attack you because you're protected?
I really don't want to see that. The anti-lockdown rallies are huge.
Yeah.
Imagine everyone in dog costume. No,
Who wants Callum to go dressed up as one of those?
it's not happening. I've got some standards unlike these people. Let's go to the next one, because Harry's also gotten in a big old fight with the alphabet police again. I think it's worth talking about. So this is some alphabet police account, as you can see here. The hostile responses to our recent campaigns to improve our service and representation of LGBTQ plus communities only reminds us of why we need to keep showing up. If it's happening on our Twitter accounts, it's happening on the streets. No, Twitter isn't real life. Get off Twitter, you bloody useless people. But also, this is a campaign. If you scroll down, you can see it's just them adding colours to things, because the philosophy goes, more rainbows, less homophobia. The inverse is actually true, but that's a conversation for another time. And if we go to the next one, we can see Fair Cop responding, saying, the problem isn't your admirable support of the LGBT communities, but your lack of support for the other 7 protected characteristics. Under the public sector equality duty, you have a responsibility to support all communities and foster understanding, not just pick a faivorite, which is, of course, what they're doing.
But they're standing up for birthing people as well. So
Birthing holes.
Birthing holes.
I don't think women are allowed the term people anymore. I don't know what men are going to become. Sperm containers? I don't know.
anything.
But there's Harry's criticism here, which is that you are clearly intersectionals. You care only about the rainbow world, as in the alphabet people, and nothing else. And you would never offer the same protection or support to people who are not alphabet people on the basis they are not alphabet people. And so the Rainbow Police decided to prove them right. If we go to the next one, we can see them saying, of all the disingenuous comments we receive, this one is one of the worst takes, talking about Harry, but easy to disprove. Southwest Police support our communities and have on multiple networks which cover our diverse workforce and community. And then there's some examples of some posts they've made to prove that they care deeply for all characteristics. They have one saying that disabilities exist. Good job. What do you want me to do? I'm paying for your wages. I'm in taxes. I don't care that you've made some tweets on the first point. But okay, you said the disabilities exist, right? We get the next one. They say the Holocaust is bad. Stunning and brave. What do you want me to say? We go to the next one. We have Women's Day existed. Question, what is a woman? Can't solve that question. And then Chinese New Year at the end there. This is their proof that they care for the entire community of all types. And this is John, do you feel represented deeply? John says no because it's in that filthy commie speak Mandarin. Yeah. But they are the software saying, we are proud to have a network which is intersectional and have a membership base which is diverse not only in terms of sexuality and gender identity, but across every characteristic that makes us who we are.
I thought it was one about the ghosts was about people identified as ghosts.
Maybe
about
that too.
scaring older people.
Ooh. But as you can see there, they just prove him right. I mean, his criticism was, you are a bunch of intersectionals that only care about one kind of characteristic.
Yeah.
If it's on the basis of sex, okay, you only care about women. When it breaks down to that, you only care about trans women. And if it's on the basis of race, you only care about non-whites. You have no care for hate crimes against whites. And, well, you just said yes. You just said, yes, we are an intersectional network. Thanks for telling us, I guess. It's always nice to have an admission. And, sorry, I can see John typing, when is Indigenous Whitey Day? Balls in your court, please. Up to you. And I think we'll end on that. Although, however, if they're going to have International Whitey Day, presumably they won't let it clash with their support of course, St. George's Day as well. St. George being St. George Floyd. As you can see, the South Wales police typing here. They stand alongside those who are appalled by the way George Floyd died. Well, by a drug overdose. I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, you are the police, so there is a concern.
Well, he did raise 60 million in his death.
80,
for BLM?
87
Was it 87?
It was for BLM.
Sorry,
in
for
1 year.
under.
He is the hardest working person to help those 4 black people get as many mansions as they please. But anyway, let's end that there. Balls in your court, Southwest Police. I look forward to International Whitey Day. That's a good suggestion, John.
If you enjoyed that segment from the podcast The Lotus Eaters, you can always go to lotuseaters.com and subscribe to support us. We don't do any adverts. And you can also check out all of our premium content, such as our book club. This is a really excellent episode by Harry, based on a book called The Grey Lady Winked, which is all of those times where the New York Times was guilty of spreading a lot of fake news. It's a really, really good and informative look at how the New York Times is trading on a reputation it really doesn't deserve. And if you enjoy it, you can go and congratulate Harry on doing such a good job on getter.com, where he's at Harry Lotus Eater. Thanks very much.